Give me 1 second. Now, how do I leave comments? The fact that I'm still learning this thing. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to do some photography live real quick. Just trying to get set up, and then we'll get right into it. Yeah. See, I don't even know how to use this bad boy. So, I know y'all probably like, what is she waiting on? So, first of all, welcome to Photography Live. I'm actually trying to get my TikTok set up because I would like to have my link on it, but I don't know how to do that. So we're going to figure this thing out as we go. All right. If anybody can tell me how to add a link or to pin something up here, please let me know and I can definitely do that. But if not, we'll go ahead and get right into it. Cause I'm like, I don't be on here very often. So you guys can tell, I don't be on here very often at all. But no worries, it's fine. We'll get started and then I'll figure that out later. All right. So with that being stated, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. All right. Okay. Welcome everybody. If I can show me on this side. Welcome everybody to my photography mistakes live. Okay. As you can see, I have my living room set up, and yes, I have a pole in the middle of the living room, just because of the fact that I pole, my clients pole, and it's great exercise. So, nonetheless, what we're doing tonight is I'm actually going to be showing you guys, demonstrating for you. For one, I'm going to go through the whole setup because I'm already starting off a little late for myself. Usually, try to do my lives. At first, I was on my 8 on my YouTube solely. So now that I'm moving them over here to TikTok as well, and just gives me more time, decided to do this back at 9. So I'm actually getting back to doing my photography live sessions at 9 o'clock. Okay. And that's gonna be every Thursday at 9 o'clock. So that's just so that way I can set up, get my camera together so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay. I can go through and tell you guys what my equipment is at the moment. So as of right now, I have, of course, just a simple tripod. Ain't nothing here right now. But I am also going to be answering questions. So if anybody has any questions for me when it comes to videography or photography, please let me know, and I will do my best to answer them to the best of my capabilities. Again, if anybody can tell me how to, how to put a comment in here, hey Cora, how you doing? You know what? You might be able to help me. So I don't be on live like this very often. How do I put a comment in here? Like, how do I link something? How do I put like a link that's pinned, like I could do on Instagram? How do I do that here? So that way people can say, hey, this is what I got going on right now, and people can click on it and check it out. How do I do that? If you can put that in the comments, that'd be great. So yeah, so we're doing photography mistakes live. Okay, so the intention of photography mistakes, while I get some type of insight on how I set this thing up, um, it goes back to when I first started really picking up photography work, and I really started getting more clients, and not just for photography but videography. At the time, and kind of still is to this day, videography was always the one that was my bread and butter. That was the one that I could really like thrive off of. It was easy almost, right? Because I got way more bookings and I got way more talent when it comes to videography. So my issue was trying to understand how to do the same thing with my photography. Okay, of course, I'm not sure, but I'll find out. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, that's cool. Even if I don't figure it out today, it's cool because I'm gonna clip this out anyway after the fact, so people can go ahead and check out my ebook, because that's what I wanted to post the link to my ebook. So for anybody that wants to learn videography, as I'm getting ready to talk more about, then you can go to that link. Start off from literally from as a beginner. You can grow and then start getting your own clients. You can start really creating a network and ultimately start booking some big campaigns like I am currently doing right now. Okay. So that's what I'm really wanting to do, trying to help you guys to get to that part. All right. So nonetheless, back to the story. when it came to me doing my photography mistakes, I wanted to get better with photography without having to wait to get a booking to get better with photography. Does that make sense? So a lot of us, we like to kind of wait until we get a booking. Then we're like, okay, let me go ahead and start practicing. Let me go ahead and start getting my stuff together. When really you should be practicing and getting your stuff together before that booking. So I made it a thing for me to understand. Oh, this is pretty cool. They got an AI summary and everything. How y'all doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. It is a task to try to watch TikTok and YouTube at the same time. It's cool. I'll figure it out. But so because I was one of those people that was waiting to the last minute to start to get my photography in order, I said, you know what? I'm gonna make it a thing. Every Thursday, I'm coming on here live. I'm gonna mess up on purpose so I can learn different things. I can try out different things without the pressure of being at an actual photo shoot. Because a lot of times we be at a photo shoot and the client's like, "Oh, what is this?" or "Can I get this?" And they're trying to have us to really kind of get it to how they want it to, and then we also are trying to figure out our settings at the same time. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look. So I wanted to change that for me. The kicker is after I did that, my photography business blew up. After I did that, I started showing what I could do. I started really putting my foot forward when it came to my content, my creations, and now people are like, "Oh, you they want to book, right?" So I'm setting up content days, I'm setting up photography shoots. People are booking and paying for their slots. Like I just did a birthday shoot not too long ago, and I got somebody else that's trying to get another shoot going in, and it is becoming like a regular occurrence because instead of me waiting for me to get paid to learn my settings to do better, I just took it upon myself to do better at home. Like I was literally in my room, just like this, my living room, just like this, and I made sure that I say, you know what, I'm gonna put my camera up, put my tripod on it, connect it to my laptop, go ahead and see exactly what I got going on there. That way, I can see what I have, how I'm capturing it, and I can also show that to the world, even if people might say something about it. You know what I mean? It didn't matter. I wasn't doing it for the clout. I was doing it for the practice. So keep that shit in mind. For anybody that decides to say, you know what, I'm gonna wait until I get a client before I start doing this said thing. Don't go ahead and be the client. Go ahead and start doing yourself portraits right now. Get a friend who needs content. Just go ahead and start capturing with them on a daily basis if you can, weekly basis. Get your skills up, and then you can go ahead and start booking clients on a regular basis. All right. Let's see. We got some people in here. It's like some people in here. Tell me something you're lurking. Okay, so now again, if you guys have any questions for me, anything that is pertaining to photography and videography, I promise you, I'm gonna try to do my best to catch them before the screen starts like getting rid of it. But I do want to answer questions. While I do that, I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna go ahead and set up real quick, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm setting up as I'm setting up. So, what I really wanted to do for tonight, and this was for my latest campaign, and I don't know if you guys have been seeing, right? So I have recently, it was like not even that recent at this point, maybe like last month. Last month I had booked a $2,000 campaign. Okay, and it was through a referral, and the way that I got that referral was because I was already working with that particular client, and she decided to say, "Hey, you know what? I got this person that needs this big campaign, and I couldn't think of nobody else but you to do it." I said, "Bet." So locked me in, went ahead and did what we needed to do, and it was amazing. So that's the one of the that's literally the post that I've been posting about over and over again. Like, hey, learn how to do this, get $2,000 with your camera. Keep in mind, as you guys know, my camera is a T7. It's a T7, okay, a Canon T7. So I know a lot of people are like, why would you use something so beginner to be able to book something like that? And it wasn't like I just chose to. That's what I had to work with. So when you have whatever you have to work with, you're gonna work with it. So I'm not a person that's gonna be like, oh, I can't do that. Let me go ahead and get all my shit up. Like I'm gonna figure it out. Especially when I know I can accomplish it. I just can figure it out. So I've been doing other work with my camera. Why would this be any different? All right. So I got right now I'm setting my backdrop. So this is gonna be right here. Move my camera bag to the front. So this is where my T7 is at. My beautiful, beautiful, amazing camera. All right. Any work that you guys see that I do If it's not done with my phone, it's actually done on my actual camera. So keep that in mind. You can make magic with anything. Okay. So that's one backdrop stand. And then I'm gonna put the other one up. Move this out of the way. Put this other one up right here. And we're gonna set this up. So I'll answer a question that I feel like some people may have had, and I can go ahead and just decide to answer that real quick. Like, so what is my favorite lens? It used to be the 50. It used to be the 50. And the reason why I say it used to be is because I got the 35. So if you know anything about photography or videography, you know different lenses give you different types of quality, right? So keep in mind the 50 and the 35 are similar because they're prime lenses. That's the beauty of that. They're prime lenses. But the 50 is, so depending on the distance, for example, if I'm standing right here and I'm trying to capture this pole, if I take the 50 might shoot the pole like this. Like it might be up here. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the 35 might be more mid-range. As an example. So meaning that the 50 is going to bring whatever it is I'm looking at much closer to me than the 35. That's has something to do with the focal lengths. Okay. Obviously the numbers 50 and 35s. Okay. So because of that, I like the mid-range. So that's my 35. 35 is great for pictures. It's great for videos. Both are great for both. But depending on what type of space I'm working with, 35 is my go-to. So the answer to that question, if anybody wants to know, 35 is my favorite lens. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and place this on top, but I want to make sure I grab my backdrop. So I'm not gonna use that one. Oh no, this is what I wanted to use. Did I leave it here? Did I bring it here? Boom. So I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. So the items and what I'm actually capturing tonight is going to be, Corey, you on a rampage. That's you, right? I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay. So these are the products that I had filmed, right? So there's this product, it's Pole Grip. It's great. First of all, Cora, I don't know if Jada has told you about this, but this is some really great gel. So this is a grip gel, okay? And then of course you got the resin. They both from the same company, but the thing is, this one's mostly for like your hands. Doesn't leave any kind of residue, and it sticks on. Don't even have to worry about reapplying. I know it sounds crazy, right? But that's what this is. And then this one's for the body. Okay. So anybody on YouTube, Pole Grip Gel. All right, make sure you guys can see that because that's bright. And then of course you got your resin. All right. So the beauty of these things is they actually work. You ever get a brand deal or you have a product and you're like, almost like you're gonna get paid good for it, but the product is not the best. It's a conundrum I'm not trying to be a part of. So I like when a product actually works. I can market it, I can talk about it, and then I can be like, okay, cool, this is what it is. Hey, what's going on, Ming? How you doing, bruh? Thank you for stopping by. I am fresh on this TikTok. I'm usually on YouTube, but I'm fresh on TikTok trying to get my lives on here on a weekly basis. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's my bro Wing. He's been doing a lot of awesome shit lately. So I appreciate you stopping on by. All right. So with that, and the reason I even brought this up, showing you guys the items, is because there's a certain kind of color that's on here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like an orange, yellowish color, right? Same thing is here, orange, yellowish color. Now, instead of me using a regular old black backdrop, I figured it makes sense for me to use my orange ombre one because the bottle is already white with the print on it, and then I could put this attached to it. Now, what am I doing? I am going to take a picture of these items. Now, of course, I can always AI it. I can just go ahead and take a picture with my phone, or I can just say, hey, these are the products that I got from the client. Tell ChatGPT to go ahead and create it for me, right? And I did. I ain't gonna lie to you, I did. It's easy, but it's also another way of, hey, if you don't want to do that, you can do it manually. I'm the type of person I like to learn both. So I'm not going to just stick with the one and not do the other. I'm going to learn all the techniques. All right. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do that. So now that we have these stands up, now I want to connect them. And I don't need them to be extra long. So let's see. This one is not the one I want. This is still not the one I want. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, so of course, for those of you that don't really know why it took us so long to set up or why we got show up so early to a photo shoot, this is why. Setting these things up take time, bruh. So ultimately, what I have to do is I have to figure out, okay, how long do I want my backdrop to be? Then of course you got these holes that's gonna actually go on those ends, right? And then of course you got the other side that do the same thing. Now you gotta figure out how to connect it in the middle. So this is where this will come into play, at least for this particular backdrop stand. Okay, so of course when you see this sticking out, you just push that down and slide it in. Right, so see that there, push these down and then just slide them on in. Once that's locked, you're good to go. Now I can bring these over, but before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and put my backdrop on it like so. Come on, where you at? Boom. All right. Put the backdrop on it. Come on now. All right, bet. So once that is taking place, then I can put these on top. And of course, I just got to move this closer. And I can move this over if I wanted to, just to make sure that it got the room that I need. All right. So this is ultimately what that would look like. But of course, I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. And I'm going to show you. And I'm also going to set up my table. So this is the table I'm going to put everything on. All right. So meaning I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I'm going to stretch it out just one time. I don't need it to be too tall. Does that look right? That's fine. All right, so now put it all together, and I'll do it like this. Now, just so you guys can really see it real good, I'm gonna move that over. And you can put weights on your stands, especially if you got like a heavy backdrop. It's best to put weights on it, like that. All right. So then, once I am happy with how this looks, and I'll probably have it stretched out some, so it can have more of a curved look on the background, just so that I'm not having to worry about that dip, because that dip in the back is gonna make it look weird. It's gonna give a shadow, and we don't want that. All right, so that's gonna be that. Probably gonna move you over this way. Yeah, I think that's better for you on this side. So that's just one aspect. Okay. Now, if I decide, I can set up my whole speed light situation, all that. In the meantime, what I'll do is I am going to set up my camera first. So of course, grab my camera bag. All right, and I could place it here for now. Here's the camera, of course. Then now, right now, this is my kit lens that's currently on this. This is currently my kit lens that is currently on this, right? Everybody that's popping in, thank you. I appreciate it for stopping by. All right. So, but what I want to do, for one, I'm gonna make sure I remove the back parts or the bottom part of my camera so that it can sit on top of my stand. All right. So meaning I need to make sure that I have this also attached. So that's probably gonna be this right here. That's gonna go on top of my tripod. Okay, so now I'm actually going to make sure it's the right one too. All right, it is. And then I'll put this here. Lock that in like that. Okay. Now, what I can do, I ultimately can go ahead and take a picture with my camera just set up the way that it is right now. But I already know I'm gonna have to use my prime lens. I'm not gonna be able to stick with the kit lens, not with this continuous lighting. Now, what I'm saying might sound confusing to a lot of people, but I'm gonna break it down for you so that you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay. Continuous lighting is literally just this light that just stays on the whole entire time. All right. Now, there's pros and cons to this continuous type of lighting. Okay. Okay. It says your live is heating up. All right. Appreciate it, TikTok. I thank you for telling me that. So, meaning the pro part is I ain't got to touch it. I can just literally move it back and forth to go towards my product, my item, my person, and I can adjust the light. I can just really adjust it by distance, right? More than anything, so that's adjusted by distance and by the type of lens I'm going to use. So for continuous lighting, you can use your prime lens, but I'd advise you not to. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to need a bright ass continuous light to use your prime lens. All right. It gets really hot. I will say that, and that's definitely the con part of it. It gets really hot if you have this light on your model and you're shooting for like 2 hours or plus. She's gonna be sweating. Okay, so I try to avoid this as much as possible. If anything, I use my continuous lights for my videos. I don't usually use them when it comes to like photography, not for real. But if I have to, if I ultimately have to, and at the beginning I had to before I got my speed light. So at the beginning I had to, and because of that, I ensured until I could afford my speed light. I went ahead and got another lens. Now you might be like, that sounds crazy. Why would you pay? You can pay. It's gonna be more money to get a lens than to get the speed light. At the time, for me, it wasn't, because depending on what kind of brand you're getting, the off brands aren't as expensive as the actual brand of your camera, right? So I do have some off brand prime lenses. Now they're definitely way economical, but they also still do the job. All right. Now there's always pros and cons to that too. The pro is that the price is great, but the con is that ticker when it's adjusting, focusing is loud as hell. Okay. But the beauty of that is if I'm not using that while I'm filming, it's fine. I can adjust it as long as I do the auto focusing before I start capturing, and it's cool. You find your workarounds. All right. So all to say, basically, for this continuous lighting, I would use my prime lens instead, just to ensure that my products are caught with great lighting. Especially, I'm gonna use this one. All right. Now we can try with the speed light, and the speed light is gonna basically flash off, right? So you guys might ever see you had a photo shoot and there's flashing taking place. That's usually gonna be a strobe or a speed light. I have a speed light, so I make it do what it do when it comes to mine. But as you guys can see, I still make things happen. All right, Corey, I'm gonna keep saying appreciate you because you just over here to send us stuff, and we ain't figured out the comment thing yet, right? But if we didn't, that's fine. I'm still gonna figure it out by next time. But thank you. I see all the likes. Everybody that's dropping them, I appreciate it. So what I'll do, go ahead and place my items right here. I might need to bring y'all closer so you guys can see what the hell I'm talking about. All right, so bring you guys right here. Okay, those are the items. All right, and I got you on this side. Just like that. Okay, so, and of course I got my camera right here. Okay, so this will be this right here. All right, and everybody can see that, right? Now, something that I normally do is I normally connect my camera to my laptop. That's so I can actually see what I'm capturing, right? So that way it does make sense. All right, I don't like that. Let's do this way. Okay. I have to adjust the other camera because I feel like it wasn't making sense. Okay. So this is so I can see the pictures popping up on my laptop. Now there's softwares for that. I actually have videos about that already. Yeah, I will. I will. Thank you, Georgie, for popping in. I appreciate that. Anybody else is coming in, if you guys are into photography or videography, definitely check out the rest of my page. Go to my YouTube channel. That's where I have a lot of tutorials. I have a Patreon and I have an ebook out for people who are starting out in videography and you want to learn how to get more clients to ultimately book your first $2,000 gig. All right. That's what we're talking about today. And I'm gonna show you guys basically my workflow. All right. Now, mind you, for this particular client, as for why I'm even creating this image, they don't even need it. But it goes back to, do I have to wait for a client to be able to start capturing and testing out different things? They don't, if they said they're good, they don't need it. Does that mean I don't have to still do it for myself? So I still do it for me because I want to make sure that, okay, if anybody else comes up after this particular client, am I going to be able to say, yes, I have proof of work that I've done? You know what I'm saying? Because they are going to go off of that versus me having to say, oh, well, the client, he didn't want it, so I didn't do it. Nobody wants to hear that. Okay. They want to see, are you going to take initiative? Even if the client doesn't need, are you going to do it anyway so that you can see how well it's coming out? So if somebody else were to ask, you already have proof. I'm not going to wait to get the proof from somebody else because they got to pay me first. I'm going to do it for me because it makes sense that way. All right. Don't tell me I had this, my OBS is on, but I never reset my microphone. It's fine. I don't even know why I even had that up there. It's working now, but we gonna figure it out. All right, so I'm connecting this. And now I'm connecting it to my laptop, the camera at least, and then I'm gonna come over here just so I can again see the pictures. This is called tethering, by the way. If you guys have been seeing photographers do this, this is what this is called. This is called tethering. Okay. Okay. So, and what the tethering does, gives you guys a whole breakdown. What the tethering does is allows me to take the picture in the camera and it pops up on my screen. In this case, my computer screen. Some people, it might be a TV screen, it might be a tablet, it might have it attached to, but as long as this cord is attached to their camera, to another device, they're tethering it. So that way they're not just relying on the screen on the camera. Because as you can see, the screen is small. Sometimes that screen can kind of lie to us. Sometimes, right? And then you have to fix it in post, right? So that's something that you definitely have to pay attention to. But if you decide to tether, this would be a great option and a great way to do it. Let me see. I gotta open up a software because this is an EOS. It's not used for webcam. It should be EOS utility. So I gotta open up my software first, and then once that connects and it says my camera is good, then I can go for it. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and switch out my lens because I know I'm not gonna need this. So this is what it looks like when the lens is taken out. It looks weird, don't it? But that's what happens when you take it off. So because I know I don't need that, I need my prime. I'm gonna go ahead and add the prime on there. And as you guys know, like I've told you before, yes, it's the T7. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. But yes, this is my T7. This is the one, if you guys have been on my page, that I've been talking about incessantly, literally nonstop for the last month. But it's going to show you guys all the different things that I do with it, right? Canon Gang. There we go. There we go. Canon Gang indeed. Okay. So yes, so I'm gonna show you guys, of course, how I'm gonna set this up. If you guys have any questions for me, because I do photography and videography, right? I have an ebook out as well that's showing people how to jump from basically being a videographer or wanting to get into the videographer business. And it can show you guys all the steps that I took to get started. It led me to my $2,000 deal that I talk about on there too. That word, I have the same one, still learning it inside and out. Bruh, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I literally have created my whole YouTube channel, not the whole YouTube channel, but I created a good amount of my YouTube channel on how I use my camera. So if you come watch me every Thursday, I'll be out here like this every Thursday. At least at like 9 o'clock. I will be trying to go through different things of what I do with my camera, right? So I got you. Don't even worry about it. And I'm not even charging off of it because I know what it's like. You know what I mean? It's hard out here So you have to go and hire somebody and all that stuff. So I got no issues giving out the information because at the end of that, you still got to do the work. So it's good. So these are my young Nuo. Right? Like I told you guys, they were off-brand, okay, but they do the job. So this is my young Nuo. This is my 50, yes, 50 millimeter. Like I told you, this used to be my favorite one. All right, young Nuo, 50 millimeter. Right. So if those of you are like, what is she talking to? I got two people. I got two things going on. I got YouTube behind y'all and TikTok right in the front. Okay. So, but what I wanted to use instead of my 50 is my 35. Do y'all have a favorite lens that y'all like to personally use? Right. For me, it's a 35. So this is the same brand, Young Nuo, and you got a 35. These things are expensive. If you're trying to get like a Canon brand, and they're worth it, but they're expensive. Okay. I'm Afterpay is just now kind of reached up to a level that I want to, but I'm like, whew, let me work up to it. Let me save up, like really, really save up. But it's gonna be worth it. But that's also gonna be with the upgrade. You know what I mean? Because eventually I will upgrade my baby, but I'm still gonna keep her. I'm not gonna replace her. I'm still gonna keep her. But nonetheless, we're talking about the 35. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here. Boom. Said I was gonna ask. Yeah, I'm not going crazy. I mean, I'm a little insane, but we here, okay? But sometimes you gotta be crazy about your dreams too, bro. You know what I mean? Like people might not understand why she talking to people, and ain't a whole lot of people in here. I don't need all of that. I just know that I'm talking because I believe in what I'm doing. Okay. So she said, yeah, death worth it. Yes, yes. So wait, which one's worth it? The one that's like the $3,500 lens or the just the upgrade in general? Either way, yes, yes. But in the meantime, for those of you who are starting out, like I don't have all the funds to do all these things, you can do this. Keep in mind, when I bought this camera, I spent $1,000 on it. It was through Flex Shopper at the time. Don't ask me, I don't use that no more. It was a headache, but nonetheless, I got the camera and I paid it off. I think it was like really 800, but then Flex Shopper is charged like under $200 because of interest. I paid it off and I got my camera. Now this camera is sold new 500, used 300. So I could really go and get a second one if I wanted to, but I do want the upgrade. So any lens that will get you what you need. There you go. But I like that. That's a good response. That's a good response. All right, so I've been turning this around over and over again. Okay, so my 35 is on here. I'm tethered to my laptop, but I do want my screen to show up with my camera on here. Oh, I gotta turn this on. Duh. Turn it on so that way it can recognize it's connecting. I have other videos on my YouTube, by the way, that shows my laptop of me showing me tethering my computer. And we have to start somewhere. Flex Shopper was a tool. She said it. That's all these things are is tools. That's it. I'm really that's why I'm like, I'm not hung up on how people feel about certain things when it comes to AI, how we doing when it comes to our cameras. Like I get it all the time. People will be like, oh, why are you doing this? And they'll be questioning my ethics and they'll be saying, well, if you're gonna do that, you might as well do this. I'm doing what I can do with what I got, but I'm still making it happen. So I'm not asking for permission. I'm going to give myself permission to still do it. Because if I waited and went off everybody else, I'd never do it. Never would do it. Okay, so now I hit remote shooting. So wait for that to come up. Do what it's gonna do. All right. I thought I was gonna be done. It's like almost 10. I'll be back. My sweet potatoes is in the oven. I gotta turn them off. All right, I'm back. Just ain't want them things to get burned while I was in there. So now that I have this up here, let me see. I think what I'll do is I actually will display capture. And I'll probably turn this one off. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm setting up my laptop. So currently, Big Chuck, what's going on, bro? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Everybody that is liking, sharing, watching, I appreciate you guys. As I said earlier, I'm new to the TikTok lives. I usually go live on YouTube for my photography sessions, and then I usually go live on Instagram every Monday to talk about marketing. As you can see, I do a lot, but it's my business. This is my bread and butter. I do not have a 9 to 5, so I have to do this. If I don't do this, I don't eat. If I don't eat, I don't live. And everything else that goes on in between that. So I appreciate you just popping up. Just wanted to say that. All right. So now that we're here, finally got my camera, my laptop set up, and it looks like I should be able to at least post this part on YouTube, so I can do that later so you guys can see, for the most part, the camera settings, right? So now that we're here, this is what I was kind of waiting on this whole time. So I can talk to you about lighting up my products, okay? So what I'll do is move you guys a little bit over here. Lighting up my products. So as you guys can see, I got this light right here. It's a talking head continuous light. Okay. Some people might be like, you could really just use a speed light, and I can, and I probably will. But right now, for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down. Okay. And I'm going to shine on my products. Now, if you guys can see, for those of you who are into photography, because I have my camera tethered, this part is not showing any numbers. So meaning that, do I even have an SD card in here? It doesn't matter. I don't need it. Okay. That's the beauty of it. I don't need the SD card if I'm tethering. So meaning my camera is going to shoot and save all my pictures into my laptop. It's so cool. Like, it creates a whole new folder and everything, and it just uploads it back to there. And now keep in mind, I also save all of my images, JPEG and RAW. Okay. Some people like, it'll do RAW. Y'all like, some people like doing some stuff extra. Like, you don't really have to, but that's beside the point. For me, I like both. Reason why is because if I have a client, it's like, I just need it for my internet, I just need it for the Instagram. By the way, you can just get your JPEGs in there. You're good to go, right? RAW, those files are huge. And not only that, they're huge, you have to, of course, go in and edit them. JPEG is going to kind of give it to you pre-edited. I'll say whatever you shot in that state of that moment that's how they're going to come out. Whereas RAW is going to take all them colors out. It's going to damn near look desaturated. Okay. But you have to add them in. Again, it gives you more flexibility. You can do a whole lot more with RAW. But if I don't have to, I'm not going to. That's how I feel about that. Okay. Thank you guys for the love. Thank you guys for the likes. I appreciate that so much. All right. And again, anybody that's popping in, ask me any questions you guys may have. I am going to do my hardest to catch them, because these screens are like, they're going quick. Okay. They're going really, really quick. So if anybody asks a question and I haven't answered, ask it again and I'll answer it, and keep asking it until I do. Okay. Because I don't want to make anybody feel like I'm ignoring them. All right. So back to this. Move this over. Now, as you can see, I'm not aligned with my product. So I want to make sure that I drop down, and the old head in me wants to say, drop down and get your eagle on. Don't judge me. Nelly was the shit when he was first out. All right. Okay. So I'm going to come here. You see that? Now that is like leveled. It's like level to itself. Okay. So now I am going to actually drink some water. I'm thirsty as shit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to view what this looks like through my lens. So I can actually hit this small red button at the top. It looks like a camera on the back. I'll hit that and it'll show me what my image looks like through this viewfinder. It's not a viewfinder, but through the screen. While it also shows me what it looks like through my laptop. So when I hit that button here, it also shows up on my laptop. Okay. So what I'll do here, it says no card and camera. I know. So now it's not the brightest as of yet, but I'm also thinking about, I need to change my settings. I'm gonna have to bring y'all closer. Okay. Here we go. So I'm gonna have to change my settings, because right now, yes. All right. So right now you can see it's dark, right? It's like a little light trying to come in, but I can also adjust that. So what I'll probably do is I can adjust my shutter speed, right? That can go up. If I bring that down, she bring it down, it's gonna make it more, give it more light. Keep in mind, these aren't moving. So if it's on the tripod, these items aren't moving, my product isn't moving, I can actually keep bringing it down and it can keep getting more and more light if I wanted to. So if I were to go ahead and sharpen it up, take that picture, and that still shows up really nice, right? So there's also that. See anybody said anything that I need to ask? Boom, boom, boom. Jeff Worth it. Yep. Still learning. All right. What kind of cameras y'all got? That's a good question I could ask y'all. What kind of cameras do you guys have? All right. So now the picture showed up on my laptop. Okay. Can I change the screen? Switch it? Flip? I can. Look at God. Okay. So this is the other side of what I'm actually looking at when I look over there. So as you guys can see on my laptop, that's where that is actually showing up. Okay. Now it's not bad, obviously, but it's still a little dark for my taste. Now, what we want, the goal of this, there you go, exactly. Key Love says too low as far as the shutter speed, and you'll have the camera shake, right? Hence why we have to also try a different way. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. All right. See, I love all the photographers that's in here. It's so cool. Like we can talk about this type of stuff. Like I don't have a lot of, actually I ain't gonna lie and say that. I ain't gonna say I don't have a lot of photographer friends. I just don't. It's not a whole lot of times I can talk to them about photography. We're usually always working. So instead, if I'm like, you know what, I don't want to have to worry about the camera shake, and I decide to not use and not bring that down. So I go from 30, I can go to say 1/100, a soft sweet spot like 1/125, right? And then of course, if you're like moving, if you're moving or your client's moving, 200 and up is gonna be your best bet. But then you got to adjust the other settings. So when it comes to this, what I want to do now is like look at my ISO. ISO's at 200. I can bring that up, but then you know what happens, right? If I bring up my ISO, I get more grain. Now you can use a denoise tool to be able to do that too, but it's just like you need to try to literally not have to worry about doing so much work in post, because it'd be better for you to figure it out in while you're shooting first before having to worry about that. Okay, so but for the purpose of this video and this live, I'm gonna go ahead and bring my ISO up anyway. So I'll hit the Q button. That's actually gonna give me all of my options. If I hit the Q button, okay, let me see what you guys can see. So that's the Q button right there, right? And if I hit it again a few times, it actually will go away, bring me back to that screen. Hit it one time, it gives me the details on the side. So if I go all the way down, which is already it's all the way down to ISO, and I can bring that. You see, as I bring it up, I get more light. Right now, 800 isn't bad, but it's also like, do I want it that high? What's it gonna do when it comes to the actual grain? And I can just capture it right there, and it's still not a bad shot. Okay, and then of course I can see it popping up on my laptop, for example, whenever it pops up. Ah. All right, you think it's still doing this thing, still processing. Nonetheless, weird. But I will show you guys the folder too once it actually gets all my other images, so you guys can see what that looks like. So that's another way you can bring more light into your camera. Now, if I say, you know what, I don't even want to do that. Let me bring it down to 400. 400, I'm cool with. 200 is the best if you can like really compensate for the light. Then actually, going to talk about the lighting last. So now the other thing you could do is your aperture. So you can hold for the T7. There is an AV button at the very top right here. It's like above your trash can. You can hold that and move the dial that's right here, left or right. If you move it to the right, your aperture is gonna go up. If it goes up, everything can be much clearer or much sharper, but it's also gonna make it darker. Okay. Then if I move that dial to the left, I get more light, but then I also get a more of a creamy background. So it'll have my background might be a little more blurry on purpose, right? And but the image will be beautiful as far as what I'm capturing, because I'll be focused on the actual product, and I can just capture that right there, and that does great too. Now I might personally just keep that there just because it will look nice in just that manner, right? And then I can see, of course, what the images look like. Now, and I said I'm bringing up the light last. So we're gonna move you guys back. Okay, I'm gonna get up because this hurts. Ah. For those of you still on here too, bro, that's cool. I appreciate it. I'm a very appreciative person. You're gonna hear me say thank you a lot. So I'm gonna come here. Now I might just say, you know what, I may bring it down even closer. Now with this light, as you guys know, and I've said this before, I am an economical person. I am not trying to prove nothing to nobody. Meaning, I'm not trying to make it seem like I got $400 lights, a $8,000 camera. Who am I trying to show off to? Okay, so at least because of my current circumstances when it comes to finances, like if I had it like that and I was growing and it made sense to do that, then yes, definitely do that. But I'm not. I'm literally doing local shoots, some campaigns here and there, and I'm working up to what I would like to get. So with that being stated, this light is $20. Okay, that was the whole reason me bringing that up. This light is $20, not the not the how do you call this? The softbox itself. The softbox was like 40 on Amazon, come with the grid and all that, but the light bulb inside it was 20. And keep in mind, I can actually bring this up. I could bring it all the way down. I could bring it mid range. I could even make it warm. I could make it cold, or just white. Now, the beauty of this is because, as you can see, I use a microphone. I use a remote to be able to use this. All right, so it gives me more flexibility, and now my image is that much brighter. Okay, so meaning, stay with me. If my image has the light on it that's much brighter, what can actually happen is that I can now lower my settings. I don't have to sacrifice my settings because my light is now compensating for the rest of the work. Hence, when you have a flash, speed light, when you have a strobe light, whatever it is, it makes sense for that to be more powerful. So that way you don't have to worry about having to adjust your settings so much that you're taking away from the actual quality of the image. Does that make sense? So that's something to consider. Now, if you don't have a whole lot of light to work with and is trying to do your best making it happen, I completely understand. Okay, do your best, and then just know ahead of time that you may have to do some extra work when it comes to post. But ultimately, if you can get this light to be as bright as it possibly can, of course, while I'll be able to shape it, well, that's a whole other video, but I got videos on that too. While actually shaping that light, then you can make this work to your benefit. Keep in mind, when it comes to understanding lighting, so a little quick tidbit, it's either going to be really close or really far. Distance can affect the lighting. The power of the light can affect the lighting. It's a few things for sure, right? And that all depends, of course, on how you're going to capture it. If it's going to be really great, right? Is it wired? Yes, it is. So this one is wired. I literally be I be hacking a lot of stuff over here. So this is like a hack. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can show it to you guys real quick. All right, without blinding you. So this is what I currently have in the back of this, and that's because I just attached this S bracket to this, and I just locked it in. Okay. Now, if I were to open this, here's the front of it. First of all, this is really great. They actually had another light to complement this on Amazon, but that light by itself was like $200. I didn't want to do all that. It's not a bad light, but I didn't want to do all that. So if I open this up, this is the light that I actually have. It comes with, it comes individually because I bought two. So I have this one, I have another one. And again, if I turn it on, I can adjust it, and it's literally just battery operated with the remote, right? And that's it. That's really it. It's not nothing else that's required, but it is a little bit of a hack because right now, for the purpose of you guys looking at this, like that, it's a little hot, but that's expected. So, but yeah, that's how that looks on the inside, right? And then I just attached it to this, wired it to my extension cord. That way, I can plug that in here. Now, if I told you how I really had this hacked up at one point, you would laugh at me. But we had to do what we got to do. So that is my upgrade from what I actually had, because I actually had these, and I had this all cocked inside just so I can get that attached. It was a lot, but sometimes it's not necessarily spending more money. It's also working smarter and not harder. So that was me doing that. But yeah, you can I can't remember what I searched, but I think it was like photography lights for something like that. And then that was one of the options. And I was surprised that it was up there because nobody talks about it. And again, it could also just be a video light. But again, as a photographer, videographer, you can make any light work to your benefit if you know how to operate your lighting in your settings. Okay. Yeah, the AI summary is getting me. Breaking down photography settings like ISO and aperture. You are on it. Okay. All right. So now that we have that, I'm gonna bring this back down, bring my power back up, and we're gonna capture this image again. Now I said I was gonna try to see if I can where did I put my remote? Oh, if I can do the speed light option, but we might not have enough time, or either that or I'll be here for another hour. But I do have other videos. So let's say I'll do it like this. I talk a little bit about my book, which is the ebook. I feel like I ran through the whole sentence. I'll talk a little bit more about my ebook, okay? Um, and then if you guys have any questions, we'll go from there. But I'll be back. Like this, don't worry. I have videos on YouTube where I talk about my photography, my videography, settings that I use, what I've learned, me capturing different things. So and then it's a weekly thing. So I'm just not getting back to doing that again. I was taking a Security Plus class all of last month, so I needed that time to just focus on that. So I had to pause on my lives, but we back here doing it, making it happen. Okay, what's going on, Hearn? How you doing, bro? So this dude right here is cool as hell. If you guys see him in Atlanta, if you guys have ever worked with him before, you guys already know he does some really awesome work. He got some really amazing projects coming up as well. Like, bro, tell him about what you do. You know what I'm saying? And just appreciate you stopping by and showing love. That means a lot to me. That means a lot. So these are one of the people that actually be me messing with when it comes to photography and videography. All right. So now that I'm here, I guess I should bring y'all back here, right? Or do y'all need to come back? Because I feel like you already see what I got. But nonetheless. So as you can see, right now the image looks blown out. Blown out means it's all the way white. It's literally washed out. You can't see what's going on with it. It's hard to tell. All of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and straighten it up. But what I'm gonna do instead, I'm gonna bring my ISO. I'm gonna do a little by little. I'm gonna bring my ISO down. It's 400. It's 400 right now. I'm gonna bring it down to 2. So 1 is not bad as well because of how lit up this is. So that's not bad. I can capture that real quick. Boom. Okay. And then I can actually, if I decided to, I can, because right now my aperture is what it's doing. So aperture is currently at 2.2, but I can bring that up and give more depth to the image if I wanted to. Let me show you guys something. When it comes to these low apertures, I love them because of this. So as you can see, it's a little blurry right now, but it can also get sharpened up over time, just like that. So I can capture that if I wanted to do that. And then I could also, if I say, you know what, let me go ahead and bring even the shutter speed brings a little bit at a time. So I can just do that. I brought down to 1/80 for the shutter speed and capture that. Okay, so there's a lot of options. Do you shoot manual all the time? Yes. Um, story there too. So, and the questions are like amazing. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I told you guys I'm appreciative. So, story behind my manual shooting. Cords are everywhere. One reason why sometimes if you can go wireless, it's great too, but you work with what you got. So, when I first started photography, I was not shooting manual. In my mind, I'm thinking that I needed to do automatic. And yes, manual is the best way to go. That will change up everything. Invites you to co-host. I don't know who you are, sir. We've never spoken. So I'm gonna decline. Respectfully. Okay. So back to the story. So I thought I had to do automatic. Now keep in mind, automatic in my is that the right term? Yeah, automatic in my mind, it's not all the way bad. I have used it in the past for an event. I didn't have a speed light at the time. So if you don't have a speed light and you need flash, the flash on the camera is really not the best to use because it does give this harsh lighting and it's harsh shadow. But if that's what you got, you guess what you got. So I've made it work in the past before, and actually that event came out great. Okay, so again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I also realized I needed to learn my manual settings when it came down to this one particular shoot that I did. I had my continuous light, and it was bright as shit. The model was getting hot. She was sweating. I was sweating. I'm moving around. I think we were in there for like maybe 2 hours. We have like 3 different sets that we was doing, and she had to change clothes a few times. And then it wasn't until like in the middle of the set, I'm like freaking out because I'm like, I don't know how to make this brighter. I don't know how to remove the grain. I don't know how to do this. And I'm now not only sweating from the heat, I'm also sweating because I'm panicking that I don't know how to do these certain things and I have to figure it out. And now I have to try to also keep calm while shooting this particular client. So that was stressful. After that, I made it my mission to start learning manual. And it took me over a year to learn my manual settings because the same way that I'm breaking it down for you right now, it was Chinese to me at the beginning. I didn't understand it. When people started talking about ISO, I was like, what are they talking about? And it irritated me. Just started hearing how easily people were talking about it. Now I might be irritating other people. It is what it is. But manual settings and learning those settings will save your life. Okay, take that time to do that. If you do not know how to do it, again, I got videos on that too. I got tutorials that can help you. I got a whole master class that actually goes specifically on how to operate with this T7 camera. Okay, just so that you can understand how to use your camera ultimately. And it just takes practice because the saying is true. Your first 5 or 10,000 shots are the worst, but you also learn something from that. So that's what I had to do. I had to learn from it. Hence, me also doing these sessions every week, self portraits of myself. Those added on to me capturing that amount of footage, and beyond ultimately. So I got better and better and better. And she is right. Key Love says you never stop learning. I'm still learning shit to this day. Photography is not a one lane type situation. It's not every studio session is gonna be in the studio for one. Sometimes you're gonna be outside. That's a whole different setup. There's a whole different understanding of your settings. That's understanding. I'm not gonna open it now because that'd be much more work. But do I need a what's these called? Them shades. The reflectors. Do I need a reflector or not? Right? Kilo said shooting 7 years and was in a Zoom call last Sunday. What happened? Okay, so what happened during the Zoom call? So you might need a reflector, right? Like I did a shoot just this past weekend, and everything else was great. But then I kept looking at my camera. I was like, why does it feel like there's so much light? There's like so much light. I have my client on a white cycloramic wall. First of all, I love them. They're like amazing, but you also have to learn how to operate on it, right? So I had my client on there. I had my speed light, not this one. I had my softbox with my speed light attached to it. So she's getting the flashes, but I also wanted that look. You guys know that look that I'm talking about. It's a glowy look. It's a glowy look. I don't know what that means. Why is it? Oh, y'all doing the most. So nobody told me that you gotta do puzzles in the middle of your live just to make sure that it can keep going live. Like, explain that to me. That's to make sure that I'm real. It's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. It was for lighting sports athletes for media days. Oh, whoo! You talking about a lot of motion shots, action shots. That sounds like fun too, though. I do pole, so I understand when it comes to the action. So I was like pole shoots because the people are usually moving. Sometimes they can get them in a standing still position, but that's another thing too. Exactly, action shots are also different. Sometimes your model might be standing still. Sometimes they're moving around. You got to understand how to capture that. When it comes to different settings, specifically the cycloramic wall, because I had my flash, but then I also had the white wall behind her. It was kept bouncing off, and I had nothing to kind of condense it to give me that dreamy look that I like when I'm shooting her in a smaller setting. Okay, so those are the things that make sense, and you start learning that they make sense over time. So when you put yourself in those different types of positions, or you just have a random shoot day and you're like, let me just try something different so you can learn from it, it's amazing. I personally love being somebody that understands different settings, not just in my camera, but literally when I'm out and capturing in different areas, because it allows me to adapt. I get bored if I'm doing like the same thing over and over again. Then I'm gonna find something else to do to just bounce off of something else, right? But if I can be able to say, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna be outside, today I'm gonna be in the studio, today we're gonna do black and white, tomorrow I'm gonna do video. It's fun. It makes my job so much fun, right? Just like, yes, Key said, it is a lot of fun. So our action shots with the athletes, that's a lot of fun. When you find your joy in what you're doing, all you want to do is keep doing that said thing, and you'll find a way to keep doing it. All right. So that is pretty much that. But this is the setup for this product. Um, we will do another day where I'll do the speed light setup. I'll even do some videos. With that being stated, when it comes to the videos, I am a videographer first and a photographer second. Okay. But I do all the things. Okay. I am a photographer and a videographer, and I am all about marketing. Okay. I love marketing. I love being able to bring a product, an idea, a business, a brand to the front and let people know about it in different ways. Okay. In creative, unique ways. So if you have ever been on my Instagram page, obviously, some of it might be on TikTok. I do have a lot of conversations about it as well on my YouTube. You will see I talk about marketing a lot. But because videography is my first love, I have an ebook out. Okay. It is currently $27, right? And it goes over the steps of how you can yourself be a paid videographer. And keep in mind, I started off with my phone. I was going to events, recording it to my phone. Hell, I just went to an event last night. I wasn't working it, but they had a videographer that was there that also you had to use his phone. Okay. So do not knock it because it doesn't look like it's a professional thing. As you guys know, content creators are a real thing, and nowadays they're a real job. Okay. So if you have a phone, you yourself have a camera. Okay. You can make something happen with that camera. So I talk about all of that in the ebook, but it's ultimately how you can go from using your phone into ultimately getting a camera like mine, or getting another camera after that once you save up enough money, but basically upgrading and having those flexibilities. Okay. Some shoots I do, it might just require my phone, and I'll have my phone gimbal. Okay. That's a lot of fun. And then other shoots where I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to use my phone this time. Maybe I'm using my phone for BTS, like I'm doing right now. I'm also filming. Then I can use my actual camera. Okay. So every shoot has a different purpose. All right. I did say I was going to show you guys how I do my, let me see, how the folder is created. I'm going to show you guys that real quick. And then I'm going to close out. So bring you guys over here. So as you guys can see here, so this is the last image that was captured, right? Now, anybody be like, oh yeah, we can definitely tweak it, fix it, all those things, right? So, but this is the folder I have set up. It's called Canon Live Shots for me personally. And then it goes off of course, today's date. So today's date is the 13th. Okay. So I will click on this. And if I open it, you'll see all the files pop up there. Okay. That's it. I don't even have an SD card in my camera, but the pictures show up on my laptop because I tethered it. Okay. So now what I can do is I can also be like, you know what? I don't want to look at the raw ones. Let me just look at the JPEGs. I just type in JPG, and these are my JPEG images. And that's the latest one. Okay. And if I click on it, you can see that's what that looks like, right? It's pretty cool. And of course, if I zoom in, it gives some clarity. I can actually edit this out. I can tweak it, and it would be pretty cool to see that. And that's the difference between that one and the first one. Absolutely. Go ahead. I will actually, let me go ahead and screenshot this. So I can go ahead and follow you. I don't mind hitting people up and following them as well on Instagram. So I appreciate you coming through, asking me questions, checking me out, and supporting. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you have a good evening. All right. Now for everybody else, Thank you guys for stopping on by, for watching, for checking in, for asking questions. This was a lot. Okay. Now I'm hungry. I'm ready to go eat. As you can see, I'm not like the most, I'm professional, but I'm not so a stickler about, oh, don't do such and such, talk about such and such. I'm still a person. Okay. I'm still a person, but I also want to make sure that you're going to get good quality content, good quality footage, while doing it in the most professional, respectful way. So, with that being stated, thank you guys so much for stopping on by tonight. I will be back on next Thursday for Photography Live. I'm considering, I don't know yet, I got to test out to see, but I'm considering coming on here on Tuesdays, just on TikTok. I'm going to start calling them TikTok Tuesdays, talk about the ebook, probably talk about other things when it comes to photography, marketing, just chatting it up with everybody. And then Thursdays, I'll be back for these photography and videography sessions. Okay. If you guys have anything else for me, any questions, message me, hit me up on all my platforms. It's the same thing, Media by Jay. And I will catch you guys later. Y'all have a good one.